Democrat states and cities. So y'all winning on affordability, but you just need to do better. And actually, you know, it's crazy. I don't know if you noticed, but the mortgage rates are now like what, at a 30-year low. What was it, like a 30 or 40-year low? Let me see if I can make sure I get the fact on that one. But yeah, I was reading up on that, and mortgage rates are at a record low. I mean, shout out to my boy, that man over there at HUD, and he's a black guy too. So shout out to that guy. So yeah, for what was it, housing and urban development? Yes, yeah, those guys over there at the HUD, they're doing their job. So they need to actually like, you know, put that out there more. Because I ain't gonna lie, that guy needs a medal or something because he's actually doing his job in the back, and he really don't get a lot of recognition. But somehow, and due to what Trump and due to him and Trump's plan to make Fannie Mae and them start buying up a whole bunch of mortgage stocks, that dramatically brought down the mortgage rate, which is now at a record low.
Is to vilify them. Anything that will suit the fun of.
Hey, shout out to the lunatic libertarian. He says make tar and feather great again. I mean, bro, some of these people really do need it, though. I do agree with you on that. And shout out to Toe. She says, I wonder if white male business owners can sue the state of Virginia over these laws. Pretty sure that goes against the Civil Rights Act. Like, me too. I hope that, well, honestly, I hope that they're catching on, because that is crazy. To really sit there and say, yeah, we're no longer giving these government contracts to white male contractors who's giving us a better deal. Like, so even when they give you a better deal, you're still going to say they're evil? Like, they're giving you a better deal than the minority or than the woman, and you're still going to give it to the more expensive, like, you know, party. Why? Because they're not white. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, because they're not white. I'm sorry, I just never seen it written out like that in a bill, though, just up front and blatant like that. Like, they didn't even try to hide it. They're proud of it.
Mental interest.
And it's crazy. These are other white people writing this.
Which is to vilify those who criticize Israel. You know, for example, they came up with this term woke right, and I believe you're right, it's James Lindsay, which is funny because James Lindsay is a new atheist.
Right.
He comes from the new atheist movement.
Yeah, I mean, his early adulthood, his chief goal was to tear down Christianity.
Yes, in the same vein as Christopher Hitchens.
Let me go ahead and move this along a little bit. We're going to get into Islam, Judaism, and America. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
I think it's worth asking why, you know, and as I've delved into some of that, it's like, do they really hate America because of America in and of itself? Like, what are we, you know, what are we doing, you know, that's affecting them, that's hurting them? And the reality is, like, well, they kind of hate us, not all of them, but some of them really do hate us, but it's because of our meddling. It's because of our involvement. It's because of our intervention that is, you know, it's regime changes that make things worse, you know, and cause this and cause that. And so much of that is because of our being allied to Israel. If America didn't have any partnership with Israel, I don't know if the Middle East, if the Muslims would hate us as much as they do, you know? So I feel like,
I mean,
so to say like,
hey, nah, bro, got a point. I always did say a lot of people take that element out when it comes to this whole like problem in the Middle East. It's like, you understand that if we'd have never backed Israel up the way we do, they would never be chanting death to America the way they do. It's not because, bro, they didn't just wake up one morning and just say, bro, F those guys over there in America. They woke up, well, for about 10 years straight and realized, bro, why is these Americans always effing with us? And why are they always backing Israel? Who is effing with us? It's like, that's pretty much it right there. But a lot of people in America, well, they don't see it like that. They just see these guys, well, a lot of them, as just these authoritarian Islamist regimes that just want to come and destroy America if they had the opportunity.
Well, Muslims, you know, because that's the justification that they give, is like, you don't think Muslims are the chief enemy? Like, look at this video where they're burning the American flag, you know.
I'll give it to you. Yeah, there's a lot of people who say, well, you don't think Muslims are the chief enemy? You don't think they're the number one threat to America? Nigga, what? Bro, China's the number one threat to America. And they're mostly atheists. I mean, I'm sorry, but Muslims, no. And we have such a small amount of Muslims here. And in the fact that they're an Abrahamic faith, and so is Christianity and Judaism, and they all reside in this state, I mean, no, I'm sorry. And then and here's the thing. I do love the guys when they be like, you have not read the Quran. I look at that boy like, no, you haven't read the Quran. You go of what you see on X and think that you actually read the Quran. I actually looked up in context and see what book it comes out of, the story behind it, and why it was said. Not just sit there to just fuel my hatred for a religion, which I don't understand how you can hate a religion that has the same ending as yours. But that's a debate for another day.
Whatever. But if you go just a little bit further and say, okay, but why the animosity, not for all, but some Muslims in the Middle East towards America? And if you really start to dive into that question, a lot of the conclusion is because of America's partnership with Israel.
I agree with that. And I would take it a step further and just say that, because this is where they always get you. They say, well, you love Muslims. That's what they say to me.
Right.
They say you're an apologist for Muslims. You want to ally with Muslims.
Same here.
And I would say that we just simply cannot look at Islam and the way it's talked about outside of the context, which is that Israel's at war with the Muslim world. And so they want Americans to be preoccupied with Islam and Muslims because they are the Jews' enemy. And so if there's this intense animosity towards Muslims and the Muslim world from Americans, then we're sympathetic to the war against the Taliban, the global war on terror, the war in Iraq, all these.
I mean, yeah, it gets down to the point where they get you to dehumanize Muslims. And then when you start bombing innocent women and children, I mean, I seen a lot of the chats. Trust me, the main thing they were saying was, oh, they don't care that they're women and children. Oh, they're Palestinians, they're Muslims, they hate Christians. It's just like, whoa. And like the whole hate Christians part wasn't even true. That's not even true. The only true part was that they're Muslims, and for some reason they just been dehumanized. And when I seen that, I was like, oh man, this is some real hateful stuff right here. Because as soon as you start dehumanizing people, trying to rationalize the killing of women and children, I mean, bro, you're going down the wrong path. Like, you are not on the right path. Trust me, I'll say that right now. If you're out here literally wishing death on people because of their race or their religion, I mean, come on now.
Different things.
Need to tell you that
I would say I don't want Muslims to come here,
right,
and I don't like Islam, but what exactly do they have to do with America? There's
right,
not many of them here, actually. They're a problem in Europe. There's way too many of them in Europe.
True.
And they're a problem in some cities in America where they've overrun, like Dearborn, Michigan, or in Minneapolis. There's a lot of Somalians. But by and large, they're a tiny fraction of the population here. People talk about Sharia law. I want to say we're living under like the Noahide laws. Like Reagan passed something that said that we live under the Noahide laws at the behest of the Chabad Lubavitchers under Schneerson. And you go to like a grocery store, look at how many of the products on the shelves are kosher. And look at how much of our society is built around sensitivity to the Jewish community.
Right.
The Holocaust education. It's like Sharia law. We're mandated to learn about the Holocaust. It's like we're practically mandated to celebrate Hanukkah on some way. We're eating kosher food at the grocery store. And look at our elites. Look at who donates the money to the campaigns, who owns the media companies. So you cannot divorce it from the context, which is that Israel is in a civilizational war with the Muslims. And that is reflected in the Jewish ownership of the media when you see this fear-mongering about Sharia law in America. It's something that doesn't exist.
And if Muslims really are the enemy, and I think spiritually speaking, that there is a lot of reality to that. But I'm talking about your Josh Hammers and guys like that, the way that the rhetoric that they use.
I mean, I don't know. You know, people will love to overthink it, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, that people like to overthink the difference, but it's just a recognizing of prophets. I mean, what? The Jews stop at Malachi. We see Jesus as the Messiah and God and all this good stuff. And, well, the Muslims, well, they see him as a prophet and the Messiah, but they believe that the last prophet was Muhammad. So it's just a recognition of prophets. All of them believe in the same God. All of them believe in the same prophets. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty silly to be like, oh, that's a Muslim, they're a Jew. And it's like, bro, y'all believe in the same history. I mean, and here's the thing, though. I mean, you would think that the Christians and the Muslims would be the most together because they believe in the same ending, that Jesus will come back and return. I mean, Jews don't believe that. They're still waiting on their Messiah. But according to the Muslims and the Christians, y'all, the Messiah already came. Y'all just waiting for them to come back for this fight against the devil. I mean, I really wonder where the beef is, because it's kind of funny how the two people who have the same ending is beefing harder than the people who says, "Oh, well, yeah, well, your God, Jesus Christ isn't real. He was a charlatan." Like, y'all more aligned with the Jews than the guys who believe that they're gonna have the same ending as you, and nobody thinks that's weird. But hey, I'm just thinking out loud. Don't mind me.
If there's such an enemy, then why do we resource Israel with our tax dollars so that they can fight wars with Muslims to displace them, and then Jews in America with their policies vote to open the doors for them to come as refugees here? If Muslims are, the greatest enemy, then surely we wouldn't want more here.
Right.
But when you think of how Judaism and Islam actually, they're certainly at war with each other, but how they work in tandem, in concert, to disrupt America, I think the formula is rather simple. Muslims invade and Jews hold open the door.
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt.
So my point is like, okay, I'll concede your point. Islam is a problem. Okay. But it's not as much of a problem here as it is there. And as far as it is a problem here and not wanting more Muslims in America, I don't know how to have that conversation without at least including as a line item in that conversation. Shouldn't we identify which people in politics and in media and among our elites in America keep opening the doors for the Muslims to come? Because you look at that, and it's like it's disproportionately Jews.
Major. Well, and
I mean, yeah, people complain about Muslims, but then will also want a regime change that will bring more Muslims into this country. I mean, that's the wildest part about it. It's like, yeah, we say, oh, we don't want no more Muslims in here, but then yet we'll go attack Muslims, and then we'll go work with them, and then we'll bring them back when the fighting's done. I mean, that's what we did in Afghanistan. So it's like, yeah, we literally complain about the problems that we create.
And I would even go further and say, they want us not to like Muslims, okay, but we don't like Jews anymore. If we have a problem with Muslims and say we have a problem with their faith and their ideology, and maybe they're here in opposition to Western.
I personally don't have a problem with neither of them, neither religion. I don't got a problem with Jews, Muslims, Christians, whatsoever. I just like I said, as an outside observer, I just sit there and I just kind of just wonder what the beef is. I just look at y'all and be like, all right, man, it's petty. The infighting is petty among Christians. The infighting is petty among Muslims, among Jews, all this different messages and all this wild stuff. And nobody can really get along. Nobody. I mean, y'all act like y'all unified, but not really. I'm saying, I mean, but y'all want to pretend like y'all unified to bring people in. But I mean, I'll be real with you. I step into Christianity, I got to worry about different denominations. I step into Islam, I got to worry about Wahhabism and the other ones, and Sunni and Shia and all that other good stuff. And I step into Judaism, and well, I got to decide if I'm rocking with the Torah or the Talmud.
Civilization.
Oh, so divided.
Are the Jews any different? I would say they're about the same to me. And the only difference is at least Muslims and Islam represent an overt challenge.
Correct.
Because we have
it's visible.
Right. And we have a history of warfare. They're here to conquer. I don't think they even hide that in Europe. I mean, they're imperialists. The way they play their call to prayer, the way they gang up in these European countries. But the Jewish people put the hyphen in and say it's Judeo-Christian. We're your closest ally. We're your best friend. And I always like to do as a thought experiment, think about how the Jews talk about the Palestinians. Hate them. There was a piece in First Things magazine, a Catholic magazine, that said there's a virtue in hating the Palestinians. And they hold them collectively guilty. And they laugh about the famine, about the dying innocents. They say there are no innocents.
Yeah. And like I said, like, this is where when the whole Gaza situation was going down, I'm hearing all my Jewish brethren talk about, oh, F them. They're just some evil Muslims. We don't care. I was like, bruh. I mean, if people were saying the same thing about you guys, there'd be a rapid increase in anti-Semitism. So why y'all think it's okay to disregard life like that? I mean, y'all cry about when somebody don't believe that there was 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust. That's not me, but y'all start crying about that. So you're telling me that when people start going like, yo, like these Palestinians, like women, innocent women and children, most of them are the ones being killed and not Hamas. You're telling us, oh, well, they're just a bunch of dirty Muslims and you shouldn't care. I mean, and they're telling you that as a Christian. And your teachings tell you that all things are a creation of God and should be loved the same. It's like all life is created equally. And you got these guys over here telling you, oh, no, just forget all that, man. Forget all that, bro, except for these Palestinians. Like, what?
What crime did the Palestinians commit? Specifically, they opposed Israel. And you look, the Israelis treated the survivors of the Nazi regime in the exact same way, hunted them down years after the fact, Israeli spies.
Yeah.
Do you think for 1 second that if America turned on Israel, that they would not have the same animosity for us, the way they do with Gaza, the way they do with the survivors of the Nazi regime, the way they do with whoever they consider to be their perceived adversaries, and the way that they talk about their history? They say there's something in the way and their manner of speaking where they say, everyone tried to stop us. The Babylonians, the Persians, the Egyptians. Where are they today? They've all been destroyed. We're still here.
And it's kind of crazy because they tell that story as if it's some type of triumph story. And it's like, that was because you guys were tripping. Like God seen you guys were tripping. You were sinning. You were idol worshiping and kept, damn near you was a cheating girlfriend on God. I'm like, y'all was unfaithful to God. Y'all would be praising God in the church and then walk out. Well, or praising God with Moses and then walk out and go praise Bali. It's like, what the fuck? And the God told you, if you keep doing that, I'm going to bring some people to conquer you. And he kept his promise. And then they frame it as if, oh, well, look where they're at now and all this. Well, like that's part of the story. I mean, it's kind of crazy how they don't kind of know the context of, yeah, I mean, the reason why the Babylonians and all those guys attacked is because you guys were committing sins and not being faithful to God. And now you're over here bragging about it like what? Like it was trials and tribulations? Like kind of, but let's not forget why that happened. And then, of course, as God does, turn around and punish the Babylonians and them as well. Kind of shows God's mysterious ways in the Bible of how he can use your enemies to destroy you, then destroy them on the back end.
Do you think they feel any differently about America on some level? They're friendly to America for now. But in this context of the war in Gaza, they have been very clear. Gad Saad said this. He's in Canada. He basically said, the future is in China if the West doesn't support Israel.
Bro.
And this is like a guy who's made his
and honestly, that's a lot of, Canada showed us that. Canada said, look, if you won't let us fleece you in trade, we'll go to Canada. My bad. Canada pretty much said, yeah, if you won't let us fleece you in trade, we'll go to China. And they signed a trade deal with China. And now Trump has threatened these guys with a 25% tariff to get out of that deal with China. But it does seem that, they kind of use working with China as a threat against us. And here's the thing. We're actually a democracy. China's not. AKA, they're telling us straight to our face that we don't give a damn about democracy if it means you guys getting a better deal. We'll go work with an authoritarian regime such as China. I'm like, okay, all right. Don't ever talk to us about democracy since you're so eager to go work with a dictatorship. Please save it.
Owns being pro-Western civilization. But the second that the West doesn't support their war, then they say, you know what, maybe it's over for the West. Maybe it's time to go east. They're completely indifferent fundamentally. And that's where I get back to these guys like a Josh Hamm or Mark Levin. They spin these tales. The way they frame the argument, it needs to get to a point where Christian, whites, Americans need to look at that and say, we're just not listening. You're not one of us. You clearly don't have our best interests in mind. You're pushing for something else. And on some level, I don't hate them for that. It irritates me deeply. Like I hate that they're doing it, but it's like the scorpion and the frog. You know why they're doing it.
Because it is my nature.
It's their nature and they can't help it, but we just can't.
And with that, it's self-preservation.
Right.
If I was a minority and, the leading cause of anti-Semitism, of course, is in large part Jewish behavior. But if
I was a minority and a contractor, I'd be moving to Virginia. Like I'll tell you that right now.
I was a minority and I had a bunch of, and I was surrounded, with a bunch of people around me that hated me. Like I I would do whatever it takes to survive.
Mhm.
So I don't even necessarily fault Israel for, some of the stances and even some of the tactics that they've taken. But I do sometimes get frustrated with my own people, with fellow Americans and heritage Americans like they have an obligation to try to be self-preserving. But why can't we? Why can't
Right.
we be self-preserving? Why can't we say, I get that you want to survive, and I get this, and I get that, but so do we.
Right.
When are we gonna say that?
Yeah, and I would go further even and say I had did a podcast with Dave Smith recently,
Yeah.
and I like Dave.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant guy.
Visibly Jewish, I believe is what
Jewish.
you said.
He is visibly Jewish.
Like visibly Jewish.
But that's okay. He's one of the good ones. No, but he's a good guy. He's got a good heart, and he's an honorable person. I have a lot of respect for him. But I said this on my show, and I even told him when we did the show, I don't know if I said it exactly this way, but his debate with Josh Hammer at Turning Point in July of 25
destroyed him.
I'm just going to say it. At the end of the day, it's two Jewish guys debating about Israel. Bruh. And I just think, is that really what America needs more of? Is two Jewish guys debating about what is best for America in relation to Israel? And I feel like...
Yeah, kind of, because everybody kind of feels like, Jewish people are just some hive mind group that all think the same. They are all going to follow this off the cliff, when no, there's a lot of them that actually disagree with what's going on in Gaza, or disagree with Zionism altogether. So, yeah.
Like when they went after Tucker Carlson, because they hate him. They hate him. And that makes me like him more.
Dave Smith doesn't like him?
Oh, no, not Dave. I mean, the Israel lobby and many of the Jews in America, he's the number one op for them. Used to be me. Now it's him by far, by a long shot. Tucker Carlson is an American. Yep. Whatever you want to say, and I have my criticisms, but he's a white American, blue-blooded, been here forever, who dared to try to enter this conversation about America and Israel. And it is for that reason they're punishing him. It's the Josh Hammers of the world saying, you dare, a white American, a Christian, to enter into this conversation. You have no place. This is a internal debate among the Jews about what will be done for America. And my message is, I love Dave, but the only thing that I came in, not even to criticize him, but the arrangement was to say, I think it's...
Oh, and shout out Tove says, Set, you're already halfway there. Wait, where am I halfway to? Because I do not know. But shout out Tove, though. Appreciate it, sis.
It's time for some white people to enter this conversation.
Right. Yeah, instead of just two bookends selectively chosen, who are both ultimately beholden to, and I'm not saying that Dave Smith, sits on a Sanhedrin, in a formal, civil sense that he belongs to, but it's still his people. Natural affections run deep. That's the way God made the world. I have them, you have them, he has them. And to pretend that there's not any... Yeah,
but here's the thing, though. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, and I forgot who said this, but I think one of the most high IQ things you can do is be able to look at your own community and call them out on BS, and be able to criticize community, even though it comes at your own detriment, or even though it don't make you look good. Because I think a lot of people have their pride caught up in their community, and they can never criticize them because of that pride. It's like all of their identity lays into them being black or something, right? And if you criticize the black community, you feel like you're attacking them personally. Well, I'm more than just a black man. So if you attack black people, then trust me, that's not my whole identity. So I'm not going to think that you're just attacking me personally and deeply. But a lot of these black people will think that. And that's kind of how it is with this situation right here.
Civil sense that he belongs to, but it's still his people. Natural affections run deep.
And I get that, but you got to be able to criticize your own community for there to be any change in your community. If you're always going to be a hive mind with your community, then don't complain about it because you're with it.
That's the way God made the world. I have them, you have them, he has them. And to pretend that there's not any kind of bias there, is naive. Real quick, since you mentioned Tucker Carlson, you went uber viral, when you responded to him. I'm curious though, if he called you out.
Oh, that is true, man. Maybe I need to go get my LLCs over there or something. Yeah, I need to go over there. I need to go to Virginia. Yep, you're right. I'm already halfway there. I just need to sign up. I'm already a business owner, and I'm black, and I'm a minority. I'm going to Virginia, guys. Getting that contract.
Right, is the first time he ever named you. Like he's kind of referenced you before, but without using your name and stuff like that.
Shoot, I ain't gonna lie. The way Virginia makes it sound, it's like the easiest place for minorities and women to live in. Like, if you don't have a job in Virginia and you're a black woman, then you're retarded. Like, that's the way they made it sound. I'm sorry, but am I wrong? They just made it sound like, bro, if you can't get a job when we're like literally undermining white men for you, then you must be retarded. It is what it is. Yes, yeah, go set up our reparations set. Oh, wait, what? Man, I'm good on that. I'm good on the I'm good on the whole reparations. Oh man, look, man, I already got into that debate way too many times, and my FBA brethren do not like me for it. And so be it. So be it. Because yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. It's the whole reparations thing. Like, you see how close to the heart people hold reparations. Like, it's literally part of their identity to be a black person who wants a handout from the white man. That's their identity. And when you attack it, you try to go outside of it, they take it personally. Hey, and shout out to my man Big Wave Dave. But shout out to she said, when you said if you were a minority and owned a business, you would move to Virginia. You're right. You're right. Actually, you're right. Yeah, I said, yeah, if you're a minority with the Big Wave Dave, that means not you. You cannot go to Virginia, bro. They will take all your business away from you. They hate white guys. But if you know a black woman, a Filipino woman, really any woman in general who's a contractor, send their ass to Virginia. They got all the jobs opening for them. They're going to undermine the white man. And they, guess what? They could charge more, and they're still going to undermine the white guy. I just want to let y'all know this. It's like the perfect cheat code over there for y'all over there in Virginia. So I don't know why you wouldn't go there. It's like you could charge more, and they're still going to pick you over the guys who are charging less if they're white.
Or at least it seems like he was talking about you.
The white part.
But I'll go on record and say, like, I have nothing to hide. Like, I like Tucker. I like him. I've had a couple friends who have been on this show, and I think he's doing a lot of good, and I like him. And so,
and shout out Couture Leotard, appreciate the support. She said they broke every other civil rights law. I mean, at this point, this is just pure racism at its finest, and because it's white people, they sweep it under the bus. And it's funny because this was written by white people, so it's, I mean, the craziest self-hatred. It's such a substantial amount of self-hatred is actually sad to see. It's like, wow, y'all hate yourselves that much so you're willing to undermine your own people? Really? I mean, bro, that's like crazy. When I found out that there were black slave owners, I'm like, damn, like your own people. Oh, shout out to my man Dave. He says, I'm American, piss off. All right, F it. He said, nah, F white, I'm an American, white American. But all right, and shout out to Couture Leotard. She says, yep. It's like, since they hate themselves, perfect timing. Yep. All right, well, we both on the same wavelength, sis, on that note. Like, the self-hate is just too much for them, to the point where they're willing to undermine their own. And the thing is, it's like, damn, I mean, don't you got kids that might be contractors, like family, friends? You're just gonna do this to them? But F it, man. If it's all for the women and minorities, I guess, crash out for them. It's a never a wrong thing to do, I guess.
If he hadn't called you out, do you think, like, you responded, and I mean, you made a compelling case. I'll say this, not necessarily compelling, and don't take this the wrong way, but like, when it was all said and done, I didn't walk away like, yep, Tucker is an op. But I don't even think that's what you were doing. I think you were doing.
Oh shoot, we're only like 49 away from opening up the call-in line. Appreciate the support, guys. Oh, let's make sure we like that video too. Double tap that screen if you're on the vertical, and if you're on the horizontal, make sure you guys like the video, guys. Let's beat the shadow ban by just keeping up the engagement. That's all we can really do. Just keep up the engagement.
If he's going to call me an op, let's just, hypothetically, let's just say, which would be more likely? The guy with, the mailman for a father who, hit his stride, into the public sphere at 17, or the guy whose dad was a part of the CIA?
Right.
Right. I mean, and you made a compelling case. I don't think that Tucker is an op. I really don't. I like him. But it was enough to make your point.
Yeah.
Because your big point wasn't so much Tucker's an op. I took it to mean I'm not an op, and I'm the one who was put on trial by Tucker.
Right.
And so I'm just making an argument from the lesser to the greater. Probably
Dang, Chase, my bad, bro. Chase, I accidentally missed one of Chase's super chats because he was actually talking about the shooting of Alex Preddy. He said it was a lawful. He said he was lawfully carrying right up until he started interfering in a lawful ICE operation. The rest is irrelevant. He committed a crime in possession of a firearm, and that is the facts. Sorry, I had to make sure I get that. So, shout out to my man Chase on Rumble. He sent it in as a Rumble rant. And make sure you guys follow me on Rumble as well, man. I want to build up the community over there, just in case anything crazy happens on YouTube.
Neither of us are, but if anyone was, he would have the higher likelihood.
Yes.
So all that being said, I like Tucker. If he hadn't done that, do you think you would have blasted him?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. And it goes back a little ways with him. I don't know what will happen between now and when this releases. I'm open to be.
I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. I think he'd still went after Tucker Carlson. I don't know what it is about Nick Fuentes, but this man does an interview with somebody. The next thing you know, he's berating them on the show like a week later. I don't know about that one. He'd have found a reason. He'd have found a reason to start hating on him. I don't know why. That's how Nick Fuentes operated in my eyes. It's like, dog, you always find a reason to get mad at somebody and starts grilling them on your show for 45 minutes straight. And shout out to my man Big Wave Dave for the baller alert. Appreciate the support, my brother. Go ahead and give you your shout out. Appreciate the support, man. And he says, he's like, fine, but I'm not calling in. I'm a disruptor. I'm a disruption. Every now and then. I'm just playing. Well, when you start cursing and start hopping on the liberals' asses, I ain't gonna lie. It could be a distraction, but it is funny.
Being friendly with him.
I got a feeling you'll go on Tucker's show eventually.
I think
so.
that might happen, but
because I think he's genuine.
Yeah.
Like, now, actually, that I have to specify. I think he's actually not genuine, but in the best of ways. So I think, like in the true sense, I think he is genuine. But the dude. I mean, he's like basically has been a news anchor, from birth. I mean, like and so he's good.
He is good.
He's good. And so like what he did with Tel Aviv Ted,
Yes.
The Bible says, really? The Bible says that? Where does it say that? And he's got the face that like looks like genuinely befuddled.
Yes.
Like he often does that. Like I'm genuinely just I'm just confused, or he's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's sharp.
Yes.
The dude's a shark. And he's like, where does the Bible say that? And the moment that Ted can't answer, well, actually it's in Genesis chapter 12.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
And so there are points where he like legitimately is not genuine, but not for a nefarious or malicious way, but to get him. He's a good interviewer.
Yes.
That's what if you ever watch
I ain't gonna lie, that's one thing I learned from Tucker Carlson. Like, if you actually watch how Tucker Carlson's grills people, it's perfect. And this is why I say, look, this is why I don't interrupt people when they talk. I let them hang themselves. Sometimes by interrupting your opponent too much, you let them be able to correct their position. Sometimes you gotta let them explain their faulty position all the way out, and you let them hang themselves. You just cook them on the back end, just like Tucker Carlson did. He let him cook. He was like, all right, go ahead, say your bullshit. And then after you let him do his spiel, he's like, hold on, where was that at? Oh, you don't know? Okay, all right, well, it's in Genesis. He's like, just let him cook himself. Just let them talk. That's why I always say when Sid talk, y'all get a note. I'm like, no, let him cook. Sometimes Sid will make a good point. Sometimes he'll cook himself. But you gotta let him cook.
I can't endorse it. It was, it was degenerate and filth. But the movie, The Interview with Kim Jong-un,
yes.
and he's like, and he's playing the part. And then at the very end, he gets them. He's like, why are you starving your people? And I feel like that's what Tucker does.
Yes.
Like, oh, we're best friends. And I'm Tucker Carlson. Hello, fellow Americans. I fly fish, and I'm wearing the plaid shirt and my cabin set, and like, or he'll often say like, and I'm not rich. And I'm like, you are rich. I know you're